When the world was plunged into darkness by World War II, a beacon of hope ignited on the vast Canadian prairies. Alberta, with its boundless skies and breathtaking scenery, became a crucible for forging the Allied air crews who would fight for freedom. Under the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan, or BCATP, airfields sprang up across the province, transforming quiet towns and sleepy hamlets into bustling centers of aviation activity. Today, we embark on a journey through Alberta's aviation history, uncovering the remnants of these wartime airfields and discovering how they've been repurposed and remembered. Join us as we explore the legacy of the BCATP and the enduring spirit of those who trained beneath Alberta's skies. Picture this. It's 1942, and you're a young man with a fire in your belly, eager to join the fight against tyranny. You've enlisted in the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan, and you find yourself in Alberta, a land of vast prairies, towering mountains, and skies that stretch on forever. Your transformation into an airman is about to begin. First, you're whisked away to initial training school. For 4 grueling weeks, you're plunged into a whirlwind of academic and physical challenges. You grapple with the complexities of navigation, meteorology, and aerodynamics. You wrestle with algebra and trigonometry, face a psychiatrist's probing questions, and even experience the disorienting effects of a decompression chamber. Then there's the link trainer, your first taste of flight, albeit a rather unglamorous one in a ground-based simulator. It may not be the Spitfire you dreamt of flying, but it gives you a feel for the controls and the demands of aerial maneuvering. If you make the cut, it's on to elementary flying training school. Here, the real adventure begins. You climb into the cockpit of a de Havilland Tiger Moth or a Fairchild Cornell, feeling the thrill of a real aircraft beneath your fingertips. Over 8 weeks, you'll log 50 hours of flight time, learning the delicate dance of takeoff, landing, and basic aerial maneuvers. It's a roller coaster of exhilaration and fear as you wrestle with stalls, spins, and the occasional less than graceful landing. But the journey doesn't end there. Service Flying Training School awaits, and it's where the training intensifies. You graduate to more powerful aircraft, like the North American Harvard, mastering complex maneuvers and the art of formation flying. You learn to navigate by the stars, fly through clouds using only your instruments, and handle emergencies with the cool head of a seasoned pilot. Some of you will become navigators, embarking on a different path at Air Observer School. Here, you'll transform into experts in map reading, aerial photography, and the precise calculations needed to guide bombers to their targets. You'll train in Avro Ansons, putting your skills to the test on simulated bombing runs. Others will become the sharp eyes and steady hands of the bomber crews, training at bombing and gunnery schools. Here, you'll learn to hit targets with pinpoint accuracy, defend your aircraft from enemy fighters, and operate as a cohesive unit in the deadly ballet of aerial combat. Relief fields weren't just for emergencies. Their primary function was to allow student pilots to practice away from the main station. It was deemed safer to have them practice these skills at a relief landing field than at their home station, where there would be considerably more air traffic. The secondary purpose was to have a place to land if the aircraft developed mechanical problems or the pilot became lost. The third purpose was to have a place to disperse aircraft if there was an emergency at the home field. Canada's role in the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan was immense, but it wasn't without its challenges. Before the United States joined the war, their neutrality posed a hurdle. The U.S. couldn't directly fly aircraft to Canada, But a creative solution was found. American pilots would fly planes like Harvards, Cornells, Hudsons, and even P-40 fighters to the border, where they were then towed across, sometimes by horses, tractors, or even by hand. This unusual process, a testament to ingenuity and a shared commitment to the Allied cause, took place at various points along the border. Canadian pilots eagerly awaited the arrival of these aircraft, ready to take the controls and continue the journey to their destinations. This collaborative effort, born out of necessity and a shared belief in freedom, ensured that the BCATP had the aircraft it needed to train the pilots who would help turn the tide of the war. Bowden, a small town nestled amidst the rolling hills of central Alberta, played a significant role in the BCATP. In 1941, RCAF Station Bowden was established, becoming a training ground for pilots from across the Commonwealth. Initially operated by the Royal Air Force as No. 32 Elementary Flying Training School, it was later taken over by the Edmonton Flying Club. Here, aspiring pilots earned their wings on Tiger Moths, Cornells, and even Stearman aircraft, gaining the foundational skills required for wartime operations. To support the training program and provide additional space for practice, a relief landing field was established near Nitook. This field wasn't just for emergencies. It was an integral part of the training process, allowing pilots to refine their techniques and practice essential maneuvers away from the busy main airfield. At its peak, RCAF Station Bowden had over 240 students and 150 aircraft on strength. It played a vital role in supplying the Allied Air Forces with skilled pilots. Today, the airfield is gone, replaced by the Bowden Institution, a medium-security penitentiary. The site has undergone a dramatic transformation, from a place of learning and preparation for war to a place of confinement and rehabilitation. Calgary, a bustling city nestled in the foothills of the Canadian Rockies, played a vital role in the BCATP. During World War II, what is now Calgary International Airport was known as McCall Field, and it was here that No. 37 Service Flying Training School was established in 1941. This school trained pilots from across the Commonwealth on advanced aircraft like the Airspeed Oxford, Avro Anson, and Cessna Crane. To support this intensive training program, 2 relief landing fields were established. The primary relief field, located near Airdrie, featured paved runways and a triangular layout typical of BCATP airfields. The secondary relief field, near Inverlake, offered a more basic training environment with its turf runways. Today, Calgary International Airport is a bustling hub for international travel, a far cry from its wartime role as a training ground for young pilots. However, remnants of its BCATP history can still be found if you know where to look. Be sure to plan to spend a day at the Hangar Flight Museum on McCall Way at the south end of the airport. Calgary's contribution to the BCATP extended beyond McCall Field. In 1941, No. 3 Service Flying Training School was established at RCAF Station Currie, located in what is now the southwest part of the city. This school, also operated by the Royal Air Force, focused on training pilots for bomber and transport operations. They flew aircraft like the Avro Anson and Cessna Crane, mastering the skills of multi-engine flight, navigation, and formation flying. To support the training program, a relief landing field was established near Shepherd. This field, with its paved runways and triangular layout, provided additional space for pilots to practice a variety of maneuvers and techniques. Currie played a vital role in preparing aircrew for the challenges of wartime operations. After the war, renamed RCAF Station Lincoln Park, the station continued to serve the RCAF in various capacities, including as a training center for NATO pilots. Today, the airfield is gone, replaced by the modern buildings and green spaces of Mount Royal University. The site has undergone a complete transformation. from a military training ground to a center for higher learning. Claresholm, a town known for its agricultural roots and friendly atmosphere, also played a role in the BCATP. In 1941, RCAF Station Claresholm was established, becoming a training ground for pilots from across the Commonwealth. This station was home to number 15 Service Flying Training School, operated by the Royal Canadian Air Force. Here, they flew aircraft like the Avro Anson and Cessna Crane, preparing for the complexities of bomber and transport operations. To support the training program, 2 relief landing fields were constructed. The 3-runway paved primary relief field was located near Woodhouse, while the turf secondary relief field was situated near Champion. These fields provided additional space for pilots to practice a range of maneuvers and techniques. Training accidents were a frequent occurrence at all stations. One dramatic incident occurred in 1942 when a Cessna crane with 2 trainees suffered engine failure on approach. The pilot aimed for an open space, but the aircraft clipped the roof of a barracks and crashed right into the building. The plane landed on the bunks of the service police, narrowly missing those inside. Amazingly, both pilots were okay. Just south of Calgary, nestled amidst the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, lies the site of a former BCATP training ground. RCAF Station De Winton, established in 1941, played a vital role in preparing young pilots for the challenges of wartime aviation. This station was home to number 31 Elementary Flying Training School, operated by the Royal Air Force. Here, trainees took their first flights in Tiger Moths, Stearmans, and Cornells, mastering the basics of takeoff, landing, and aerial maneuvers. To support the training program, a relief landing field was constructed near Gladys. This field, along with the relief field at Shepherd, provided additional space for pilots to practice a variety of maneuvers and techniques. It also served as a valuable training ground for navigation and cross-country flights. After the war, the base was decommissioned, with one of the hangars finding a new home in Calgary as a bus barn, but was later demolished in the 1980s. Edmonton, Alberta's capital city, played a crucial role in the BCATP. What is then known as Edmonton City Centre Airport was once a bustling hub of activity, training air crew for the Allied war effort. 2 key schools operated here: Number 2 Air Observers School and Number 16 Elementary Flying Training School. Number 2 Air Observers School, operated by Canadian Airways and later Canadian Pacific Airways, trained navigators, bomb aimers, and other aircrew essential for bomber operations. They flew a variety of aircraft, including Avro Ansons, Boeing 247Ds, Lockheed 10As, and Stinson 105s. Number 16 EFTS, operated by the Edmonton Flying Club, focused on providing basic flight training to aspiring pilots. They flew Tiger Moths and Fleet Finches, those iconic biplanes that became synonymous with early flight training. RCAF Station Edmonton played a vital role in supplying the Allied Air Forces with skilled aircrew. After the war, the airfield continued to serve the city as a municipal airport until its closure in 2013. Today, the site is being transformed into a vibrant mixed-use community with residential, commercial, and recreational spaces. High River, a town known for its picturesque setting and Western heritage, also played a vital role in the BCATP. In 1941, Station High River was established north of the town, becoming a training ground for pilots from across the Commonwealth. High River originally had turf runways, as the 1942 map overlay shows here, but paved runways in the classic triangular layout were constructed in 1943. This station was home to number 5 Elementary Flying Training School, operated by the Royal Canadian Air Force. Here, trainees took their first flights in Tiger Moths and Cornells, mastering the basics of takeoff, landing, and aerial maneuvers. To support the training program, a relief landing field was constructed at Frank Lake. This field had a unique advantage. The lake bed had dried up during the Dust Bowl years of the 1930s, providing a vast, flat expanse perfect for a training airfield. Interestingly, Frank Lake isn't so dry anymore. Over time, the lake bed has filled with water again, transforming the landscape and erasing any visible traces of the former relief field. Lethbridge, a city known for its rolling prairies and vibrant agricultural community, also played a significant role in the BCATP. Initially, the airfield served as a training ground for No. 5 Elementary Flying Training School, where pilots learned the basics of flight in Tiger Moth aircraft. However, the strong winds that often swept across the region proved challenging for these lightweight trainers. The school was relocated to High River in 1941, and Lethbridge took on a new role in the BCATP. Later that year, the Royal Canadian Air Force established No. 8 Bombing and Gunnery School at the Lethbridge Airfield. Here, air crews developed their expertise in the critical arts of aerial warfare, using aircraft like the Fairey Battle, Bristol Bolingbroke, Avro Anson, Cessna Crane, and Westland Lysander. The vast prairie landscape surrounding Lethbridge provided ample space for bombing and gunnery ranges, allowing trainees to practice their skills in a realistic environment. After the war, the airfield was transferred to civilian control and continues to serve the community as the Lethbridge Airport. Fort Macleod, a historic town steeped in Western heritage, also played a part in the BCATP. In 1941, RCAF Station Macleod was established, becoming a training ground for pilots from across the Commonwealth. This station was home to No. 7 Service Flying Training School, operated by the Royal Canadian Air Force. Here, trainees gained proficiency on more advanced aircraft, including the North American Harvard and the Avro Anson, preparing for the challenges of wartime operations. To support the training program and provide additional space for practice, 2 relief landing fields were established. The primary relief field was located near Granham, while the secondary relief field was situated near Standoff. These fields allowed pilots to practice a variety of maneuvers and techniques in a less congested environment. RCAF Station Macleod played a vital role in supplying the Allied Air Forces with skilled pilots. After the war, the base was used to store and repair Royal Canadian Air Force aircraft, including many surplus Lancasters. Medicine Hat, a city known for its sunny skies and rich history, played a vital role in the BCATP. In 1941, RCAF Station Medicine Hat was established. This station was home to No. 34 Service Flying Training School, operated by the Royal Air Force. Here, trainees furthered their training on a variety of aircraft, including the North American Harvard, Airspeed Oxford, and Avro Anson. To support the training program and provide additional space for practice, 2 relief landing fields were established. The primary relief field was located near Wholesome, while the secondary relief field was situated near Whitla. These fields allowed pilots to practice a range of maneuvers and techniques in a less congested environment. After the war, the station was decommissioned and the airfield was transferred to civilian control. Northeast of Fort Macleod, amidst the rolling prairie landscape, lies a hidden chapter of Alberta's aviation history. RCAF Station Pierce, established in 1942, played a unique and multifaceted role in the BCATP. It began as No. 36 Elementary Flying Training School, operated by the Royal Air Force. Here, trainees took their first flights in Tiger Moths and Stearmans, but Pierce's role evolved over time. It later became home to No. 2 Flying Instructor School. Pierce also briefly hosted No. 3 Air Observer School, which trained navigators, bomb aimers, and other essential aircrew members. After the war in Europe ended, Pierce took on another unexpected role. It became a storage and dispersal site for Avro Lancaster bombers. those iconic heavy bombers that had played a crucial role in the Allied victory. There are accounts that suggest a large number of Lancasters arrived at the airfield in the fall of 1945, their pilots possibly putting on an impromptu air show before landing their aircraft for the last time. While the exact details of this event remain unclear, it speaks to the significant role Pierce played in the final chapter of the war. Today, the airfield is still visible, though all the structures from the old station have been removed. A memorial cairn now stands at the site, commemorating the history of RCAF Station Pierce and its contribution to the war effort. Penhold, a town with a strong military heritage, played a significant role in the BCATP. In 1941, RCAF Station Penhold was established, becoming a training ground for pilots from across the Commonwealth. This station was home to No. 36 Service Flying Training School, operated by the Royal Air Force. Here, trainees gained proficiency on airspeed Oxfords, mastering the complexities of multi-engine flight and preparing for bomber and transport operations. To support the training program and provide additional space for practice, 2 relief landing fields were established. The primary relief field was located near Innisfail, while the secondary relief field was situated near Blackfalds. These fields allowed pilots to practice a variety of maneuvers and techniques in a less congested environment. RCAF Station Penhold played a vital role in supplying the Allied Air Forces with skilled pilots. After the war, Penhold's story didn't end. The base was briefly closed, but reopened in 1952 to train NATO pilots during the Cold War era. The airfield side was closed in 1965, with the city of Red Deer taking over operations as a civilian airport. But the base itself, renamed CFB Penhold, continued to operate until 1990, even hosting cadet summer training until as recently as 2014. So, while the sounds of wartime training may be long gone, Penhold's connection to aviation continues to this day. Vulcan, a town now known for its unique connection to Star Trek, also played a significant role in the very real history of the BCATP. In 1942, RCAF Station Vulcan was established, becoming a training ground for pilots and instructors from across the Commonwealth. This station initially housed No. 2 Flying Instructor School, where experienced pilots were trained to become instructors themselves, ensuring a steady supply of qualified personnel for the expanding BCATP. Later, it became home to No. 19 Service Flying Training School, providing advanced training for pilots destined for Bomber Command. To support the training program and provide additional space for practice, a relief landing field was established near Ensign. This field, like many others, wasn't just for emergencies. It was an integral part of the training process, allowing pilots to practice a variety of maneuvers and techniques away from the busy main airfield. RCAF Station Vulcan played a vital role in supplying the Allied Air Forces with skilled pilots and instructors. After the war, the station was decommissioned, but the airfield remained active, serving as a storage depot and scrapyard for surplus aircraft. Alberta's vast skies and open spaces played a crucial role in the Allied victory during World War II. Through the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan, this province became a melting pot of nations, where young men from across the Commonwealth trained side by side, forging bonds of camaraderie and shared purpose. From the bustling airfields of Calgary and Edmonton to the quiet corners of the prairies and foothills, the echoes of those roaring engines and determined voices still linger. Though many of these training grounds have disappeared or been repurposed, their stories remain, woven into the fabric of Alberta's history. As we've journeyed through the province, we've uncovered the remnants of these wartime airfields, discovering how they've been transformed and remembered. Some have vanished completely, leaving only faint traces on the landscape. As we remember and honor the legacy of the BCATP, let us also remember the importance of respecting private property and appreciating these historical sites from a responsible distance. The airfields of Alberta stand as silent witnesses to a pivotal chapter in history, reminding us of the sacrifices made, the skills honed, and the international cooperation that ultimately led to victory. Their stories continue to inspire, reminding us of the enduring importance of aviation and the courage of those who took to the skies in defense of freedom.